everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome to today's IG live session with Dr. Omotola. I usually call this IG live sessions Conversations with Dr. Omotola, where we begin to speak about how academic and professional career professionals can up their game. If you have not met me before, my name is Dr. Omotola, and I'm popularly known as the executive academic here on social media, especially on IG. I am an academic by training, by profession, and I am an executive coach by commission. And what that means that in my business, I help academic and career professionals build impeccable personal brands, master their executive presence, and ultimately build a business from their brilliance. Their brilliance could be their knowledge, their credentials, their mastery, and of course their expertise. And that is what I do in my business. So you're all welcome today. If you're joining us for the first time, please comment in the comment section, or in the comments let me know where you're joining me from. I would really love to know where you're joining me from. I am joining you and I'm speaking here from York, Pennsylvania in the United States, and I'm so glad to have this IG live here today. All right. I have a guest, but she will be answering questions as we come along, and I will invite her to answer some questions, and she will log off and also come in whenever we have some interactions or some conversations to make. So today's topic is building your unique brand as an academic professional. Why do you need to build a unique brand? Or why is it relevant for you to be able to have a professional uniqueness to your personal brand? Why is it important to have a personal brand as an academic professional? Like I said, I have been in academia for more than 20 years, and I intentionally started building my personal brand in 2020, which was 5 years ago. And building my personal brand has elevated me astronomically. It has given me opportunities to speak in different engagements on a global scale, or on a global, giving me a global leverage and on a global scale. It has made people invite me for speaking engagements on international platforms, apart from even the conferences that we go as academics. And I get paid for speaking. I get paid for speaking. Not only get paid, I also get trips. My trips are paid. My hotel accommodation is paid, just because they want me to come and speak. And a lot of us know that academic professionals usually have this academic reputation, but it does not always translate into influence. It does not always translate into wealth or affluence. Most of the time, we have brilliant academics that are extremely broke. And I used to be like that. I used to be very, very broke, because academia is a broken system in such a way that they use you. Your academic expertise is highly how will I put it? It's highly valuable, but it's not very rewarded. It's not highly rewarded. And everywhere in the world, people in academia do not get well paid. In America, if you work in academia, you get paid. People in corporate get paid 4 times, 5 times, sometimes 3 times more than people that are paid that are working in academia. And being in academia, you have to have a PhD. You could be a professor, been in the field for more than 20 years, and you're earning less than somebody that has an undergraduate degree in corporate. So for me, it became a very big burden, because when I was teaching in South Africa, I realized that I really wanted to work in corporate. And that is why my name, my brand name, the Executive Academic, came to be. I wanted to be versatile. I wanted to be able to intersect between academia and the corporate world. And I found out that in academia, what I was getting paid, or how I was remunerated, was very low to compare to what I was being remunerated in the corporate world. And then I decided to intersect. So when I came to America, I decided I was going to work in corporate. Even though I love academia, even though that's where my passion lie, even though that's where my experience and expertise lie, I know I could also use my transferable skills and work in corporate. So now I work in academia on a part-time basis, while I also work in corporate, where they remunerate me very well. But for some people, success is personal. For some people, they just love academia. They're passionate about research. They're passionate about teaching. They're passionate about community engagement, which are the pillars of academia. However, for me, with research was not my forte. Research was it's still not my forte. I had to do what I had to do during my PhD studies and during my higher degree you know, experience. However, research is not my forte. I prefer to teach, and I prefer community engagement. I actually prefer community engagement, teaching, and that order. And so if you know yourself, know thyself, so that you can be able to maximize your potentials and really go to where your natural propensities are to be able to maximize your potential and maximize your profits in your profession. So thank you for joining me. So like I said, my name is Dr. Omotola, and what I do in my business is that I help academic and career professionals build impeccable personal brands, just like I have done for myself, master executive presence, just as I've been able to do, which is it's a indispensable tool in the corporate world. You cannot succeed in corporate without executive presence, and of course ultimately build a business from your knowledge, from your expertise, your mastery, and of course your expertise. It pains me when I see academics or brilliant people broke. I don't like it. And I feel that since that is a burden, I know that is what my divine assignment is. So today we're talking about, how do you find your uniqueness? How do you build a unique brand for yourself as an academic professional? An academic professional here in this case might be somebody that is a higher degree holder, maybe a PhD holder, maybe somebody that has been teaching in the higher education industry, or you just have a passion and you are very familiar with how the tertiary institutions work. So if you're in this space of my audience, please, I would love you to listen and learn from me, and also put your inputs and your suggestions will be highly welcomed. Thank you all for joining me. If you can and if you will, please put in the comment section where you're joining me from. I am in Pennsylvania, like I said. If you're joining me from South Africa or from the UK or from Europe or from Spain or from wherever, or from Nigeria or Ghana or even Australia, please put in the comment section and let me know where you're joining me from. Thank you. Okay, so today we're diving deep into how academic professionals can build powerful personal brands that goes beyond titles and publications. And we're going to also be talking about academic reputation versus personal brand. So a brand that creates opportunities. So we're going to be diving into how you can build a personal brand that goes beyond titles and publications, and a brand that creates opportunities, visibility, and income. So that is my goal, for you to be able to build a brand that creates opportunities, visibility, and income. So not everything is money, not everything is income. Sometimes building your personal brand brings you opportunities. Sometimes building your personal gives you visibility, lets people know you. And when people know you, they trust you. And when they trust you, you can exchange value for profit. You can bring something into the marketplace and they buy from you. And that's our goal. So I'm introducing my guest today. Her name is Professor Fanelwa Ngece Ajayi. She's a South African born in South Africa, and I've known her for more than 15 years. She and I went to postgraduate school together in South Africa, in Cape Town, South Africa, at the University of the Western Cape, and have known her ever since. She's now a professor of physical chemistry at the Department of Chemistry in the University of the Western Cape. She's also the Deputy Dean of Research and Innovation at the Faculty of Natural Sciences, and also the founder and director of Heroes Through Education, which is an NPO, or sometimes some people call it an NGO. All right, so she's done so much for herself. So when I started my business, like 3 years ago, I started Bright Concept, which is a consulting agency that helps. It's a coaching, training, and it's a consulting agency. It's a coaching, training, and mentorship agency that helps professionals build, impeccable personal brands, and also help them to be able to have opportunities come to them in different diverse ways. So she approached me and said, Dr. Omotola, I love the way you branded yourself. I also want to build a business. I want to have something that I can generate income from. How do I go about this? And then she came as a client. She's a friend, but she's also my client. So she came as a client, and we were able to navigate and find clarity on how she was going to build a personal brand relating to her personality, her interests, her propensities, and of course her desired goals. We were able to do that, and now she has a personal brand that people love and want to do business with. And that is my goal for my clients. If you come to us in Bright Concept, if you come to me, that is what I help you do. I would help you build your professional visibility, help you create opportunities for you so that you can have speaking engagements, you can have all of these opportunities come to you. And of course, you can also sell your value in forms of maybe online courses, podcasts, speaking engagements, mentorship, coaching, and things like that, so that you can earn more income. Thank you all for joining me. Okay, so now she has an authentic academic brand, and she'll be talking more about that even as I go along. I will invite her subsequently and ask her some questions with respect to her own experience, and then she will share. So like I said, my personal brand is the executive academic. Executive in the sense that I love the corporate. I love executive presence. I just have the aura, the natural aura for that. And I decided to brand myself in that way. So what I also do is that I help corporate professionals master executive presence, which can help them to be able to maximize their potentials within the corporate space. So for example, in executive presence, you have 3 pillars also. You have how you talk, your communication skills, how you look, your appearance, and of course your gravitas, how you act. So these are the 3 pillars of executive presence that makes you harness significant opportunities, make you get promoted at work, make you seen, make you get paid for what you really deserve, and things like that. So thank you all for joining me. So today we're going to start from segment 1. What is personal branding in academia? What is a personal brand? Why is it necessary? Why is it extremely relevant? What is a personal brand in academia? So I'll start with defining personal branding in the academic context, okay? This video will be edited and be put on a LinkedIn also. So I would really love your engagements in the comment section. If you have questions, please ask. If you have any questions, any queries, any suggestions, please engage. I'm a teacher and I would love you to engage while I speak. Okay, so the personal branding in the academic context is just you marketing yourself and marketing your career expertise. All right. So a lot of us that are in academia or in the higher education industry, we have a lot of titles, doctor, professor, but we don't have, we have a lot of titles and a lot of publications, but we don't have a personal brand. People don't know us outside of our academic reputation. Your academic reputation is focused on your perceived competence. So it's focused on your perceived competence in terms of your technical skills and your contribution within the academic environment. However, outside of the academic environment, who are you? What do you do? How do we know you? How do we like you? What is your personality? What do you love eating? Do you love traveling? Do you love hiking? What are the foods you love to eat? What are the other things that you are engaged in? What are the other things that interest you? What are the things about you that are informative, entertaining, and educative? These are the things that you build in your personal brand. All right. So for a lot of professors, they are just on LinkedIn sporadically, or they are on social, or they are on ResearchGate or academia, and all we see is their research papers. The only other place you see them is on Google Scholar, where you see their publications. I'm on Google Scholar, I'm on ResearchGate, I'm on academia. But when you Google my name, Omotola Ononeye Babajide, or you Google Omotola Babajide, you will find me in different places everywhere. And this has helped me harness a lot of opportunities. I was in America about 2 years ago. Is it 2 years ago or 3 years ago now, 2021, I was invited to be a visiting professor in Penn State to come and teach, just because they Googled me and they found my online visibility there. I did a little bit of, I have an NGO called the Dr. Omotola Foundation, where we help economically disadvantaged students to be able to pay their school fees. And this is very indigenous to Nigeria. That's where I am from originally. And some people saw that and they saw my philanthropic work and they invited me to speak at an engagement. So most of the things that I do that I think it's so joy. Why is my phone going through? So I put them in I post them. Can you hear me? Hope you can hear me. Hope you can hear me. If you can hear me, just say yes in the comment section. A call came through just now and I've put my phone on do not disturb. So I don't know why the call was coming through. So if you can hear me, please just say yes in the comment section. If you can hear me, please say yes in the comment section. All right. So I did that, and I got a lot of opportunities to be able to do some philanthropic work also. And it just made people see that me as a kind person. And when people saw me as a kind person, they also extended kindness to me just because of the things that I did. So being on social media and building a personal brand, okay, cool. Building a personal brand is an extension of your personality. Is you telling people that this is who I am, this is my interest, this is who I am. And the essence of building a personal brand is for three things. It's for people to know you, it's for people to like you, and it's for people to trust you. It's called the the L, like, no, K, and T factor. So people must like you, they must know you. In that order, they must know you first, and then like you, and then trust you. They must know you, they must like you, and then trust you. These three factors that I just highlighted are ways in which it's the only significant way for you to be able to bring a value or a product into the marketplace and exchange it for profit. If people don't know you, if they don't like you, if they don't trust you, they cannot and they will not buy things from you. So your personal brand brings you out in such a way that people will want to like you. So for example, you're here. You guys are here. Maybe somebody's just passing through, saw my picture, or saw my face, or saw my voice, or heard my voice, and just like, who's this person? Just get interest. So I have been able to captivate your interest. When you begin to talk to me, I'm like, okay, and I like her, I would like to follow her. While following me, and I'm creating value and content on my social media pages, you then begin to know who I am. And then when I now give something of an offering, or I give a product, now you can engage with my product because you have been following me. And of course, you know who I am and what my interest is. And you, of course, know a little bit about my value. So this is how to do it in the marketplace. Remember that our goal is to create opportunities, build a personal brand that creates opportunities, that creates visibility, and also brings income. That is my goal for my people. All right. So now now we are going to clarify the difference between academic reputation and personal brand. So a lot of people mistake academic reputation for personal brand. It's not the same thing. Your academic reputation focuses on your perceived competence, expertise, and contribution towards scientific knowledge or humanities knowledge within an academic context. While a personal brand is a deliberate strategy to present yourself in a specific way to a broader audience. So now it's going to be outside of your particular audience, which is academic audience, into a broader audience, which is the whole wide world, to a broader audience, often for career or professional purposes. So for me, for example, like me, I am Dr. Omotola. Some people call me Professor Omotola, but I personally call myself Dr. Omotola. I have a PhD, I teach in the university, I have all this academic reputation and academic credentials. However, when you come to me, my personal brand gives you an indication that I want you to grow. I want you to maximize your potential. I want you to be able to make money, to be able to make income, and have influence as a result of your brilliance. That is what I portray in my personal brand. And a lot of academics also have other different expressions that they can turn into money-making ventures. All right, you can turn your other expressions. So it's not necessarily what I did in my PhD, not necessarily what I teach in class. So for example, I teach environmental engineering, I teach hydrology, I teach sustainability, I teach chemistry, environmental chemistry, I teach chemistry, I teach organic chemistry, I teach science education, I teach all of those things. But I don't necessarily have to bring those things on social media and begin to teach them. As a matter of fact, what I teach on social media is how to personal development. I teach personal development, I teach executive presence, I teach personal branding, I teach you on how to package yourself, how to communicate properly, and how to begin to have a lot of emotional intelligence and things like that. Because these are the things that you need in the world. These are soft skills that you need in the marketplace to be able to access opportunities and become a person of influence. Do you understand? So your academic reputation might be relevant in the classroom, but it's not relevant in the wider perspective. And remember, the wider perspective is for you to be able to market your value and gain some income opportunities and visibility. Okay, so your personal brand is a more intentional and proactive effort to create a desired image. So I intentionally started building my personal brand in 2020. It's been 5 years now. And I can say that, yes, it's so worth it. It could be a little bit expensive in terms of you need to be very clear about what you need to build your personal brand on. You also have to be able to create content on social media, create value on social media, let people know what your desired interest is in and how you can help them. It's also a little bit expensive in the sense that it takes a little bit of your time, energy, effort, a little bit of brainstorming, clarity. It takes a lot of that. And if you cannot, find a way around it, I am somebody that you can call and we can help you build your personal brand. So building a personal brand, I will tell you now, let's go to why it's relevant, okay? Why it's relevant. Then when I finish all this synopsis, I will now invite Professor Fanelwa to just talk about our experience. So like I said, she was my client. She's still my client. She's my friend. She's my colleague. And she's a beautiful persona with interest in also monetizing her brilliance. I personally have gained a lot of opportunities. Recently, I was invited to speak at a conference in Egypt, in Cairo, Egypt, and I was given an award of one of the most influential, 100 women influential, whatever that might mean. But it just gives me visibility. And that visibility, of course, can be turned into income if I know what to do. So the more people know you, the more network you have, the more your network, the more your, how did they say? The more, the bigger your network, the better your net worth, So when you have powerful people, powerful women within your inner circle, of course, they give you opportunities. They tell you where things are happening, and you can use that to also leverage and make more money. Okay, so we've talked about how academic reputation is very different from personal brand. Okay, so I'm going to ask her questions, really. So now let's go to why academics must build a personal brand. And it's not just academics. Career professionals, academic professionals, business professionals. If you're a business person, you also must build a personal brand. It's very, 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 very important. So it's the essence is for you to be able to amplify your expertise, grow your influence, and create opportunities, like I said. And one of the other things is also for you to be relevant. Okay, a lot of academic professionals are not relevant. You might be brilliant, they might be full of technical know-how, but they are not really relevant. Okay, they are not really relevant, and them being not relevant is a problem, because when you are not relevant, people don't invite you for important discussions. People don't invite you for important things. You are not being seen in places where your expertise can be turned and monetized. So it's very important for you to be relevant. It's important for you to be known, to be trusted, to be liked. Okay, so now, of course, it grows your influence. The more the influence you have, the more your buying power and the more your selling power. The more you can market, the more you can market your products, the more you can market your brilliance, the more you can market, yourself as even a product. Okay, so now we'll discuss the benefits. So one of the benefits of building a personal brand is that it attracts collaboration and funding. So in academic circles, when you want to begin to grow your personal brand or begin to intentionally and you're proactive about creating the desired image that you want to showcase to the world, it attracts collaborations and funding. People now want to be interested in the things that you're doing. And you get invited to speak. Number two is that you get invited to speak, to consult, and to contribute to policy. And of course, the ultimate also of these things is that the benefits of building a personal brand is makes you create legacy. Legacy in the sense that what you do now transcends your generation. So for example, there are a lot of people like Albert Einstein has a legacy. Nelson Mandela has a legacy. A lot of academics have legacies because they've written books, they've authored documentaries, they have publications, they have a lot of knowledge that they have put down, which is legacy for the incoming generation. So your name does not get out of your generation. You have created legacy. One of the other benefits also of building your personal brand is that you create income streams for yourself. You can create income streams, and that is one of the, like I said, one of the three significances of building a personal brand: for opportunities, for visibility, and for income. So one of the ways that you can create income is by generating digital assets. You generate digital assets, okay? You can generate digital assets. And one of the ways that you can generate digital assets is by building courses. You already are a knowledge broker, so you can create courses, you can create books, you can create advisory, you can do advisory roles, you can do consulting, you can do coaching, you can do mentorship, you can create templates, you can do virtual assistantships, you can do a lot of things online that will make you create income. However, people cannot buy from you if they don't know you. People cannot buy from you if they don't know you. People have to know you. They have to know you. They have to trust you. They have to like you. All right. People have to know you. They have to trust you. They have to like you to be able to buy your product. So for example, now I have a course. I have an ebook which is free, which I'm going to give it to you if you want it. Just request for it. It's called the Personal Branding Ebook for Academic Professionals. It's free. And if you are here, please put it in the comment section so that people can just click on that link and get the ebook directly into their email. So if you have that, you can start to build your personal brand. It's a free ebook. I also have online courses. I have an online course on personal branding. I have an online course on executive presence. My online course on executive presence can be gotten on www.drmotola.com/EP bundle. So you can also get that. It's one of the ways of generating money, generating income, and generating influence. Because when people watch my audio and they watch my online courses, they see me in another perspective. So creating digital assets is one of the things that you can use you can sell as a product or as a byproduct of creating your personal brand. So now, what key opportunities? And now I'm going to ask questions. So what key opportunities came your way after you became more intentional with your brand? I'm going to be asking Professor Fanelwa these questions. And how can branding help career academics stand out globally? It has helped me stand out globally. If you check me on LinkedIn, you will see how I keep getting invited to speak. I've spoken in Kenya last year. I spoke in South Africa the year before. I spoke in Egypt, Cairo this year, because it's an African Women's Summit. I get invites to speak in China, in Japan, South Korea all the time. As a matter of fact, I even get tired of all these invitations, So these things, the visibility makes you known and makes you invited to speak. It makes you invited to come and add value to an audience. It's very, very important. And branding also helps you get clarity with respect to how far you want to go. Helps you with collaborations and things like that. All right. So, Fanelwa, are you still here? If you're here, please say yes so that I can ask you some questions and then you can join me. If you're here, please say yes so that I can add you and then ask you some questions, and then you can, just answer those questions and talk to our audience. So now the segment 3, because I don't want to spend too much time here. Segment 3 has to talk about the key strategies to build your unique brand. So how do you build your unique brand? We've talked about why you need to build your unique brand. We talked about the advantages of building your uniqueness. Okay, you're here. Okay, so now we're going to be talking about the key strategies to build your unique brand. But before we go on, I'm going to add Fanelwa, who is an impeccable trailblazer in science leadership, and whose work is a living example of what an authentic academic brand looks like. So I'm going to be asking her questions. So Professor Fanelwa, I'm going to be asking you these questions. How would you define a unique brand for an academics professional in today's world? And so I'm going to add you now, and when did you begin to realize your identity outside of traditional academia? So let me invite you. And you can just answer. Once you answer them, then we'll go back to how we did it before.
Hello, Doc.
Hi. Okay. So we are talking about building a unique brand in today's world as an academic professional. And I know that you have also been able to build your own academic reputation on the side, and you've been intentional about building your personal brand on the other side. So how would you define your personal brand, your uniqueness in your own personal brand in your journey?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank you because it's through your expertise that I came to understand what personal branding is, and also your expertise in terms of bridging what I love and what I love to do and what I've learned. In my opinion, personal branding is using the skills that you've learned through your traditional education to transform society. And what I mean by transforming society is that you take a little bit of what you learned, you put it out there, you sell it, in fact, but you package it in such a way that it's needed by society. You put it in a way that is attractive, you put it in a way that is needed, and you put it in a way that they feel that without this kind of assistance, I cannot move forward. So for that, for me, that talks one leg of personal branding. Secondly, as an academic, I think it's important because academics, in all honesty, are known to be very boring, in the way they dress, in the way they speak, in the way they do whatever it is that they want to do. But the second leg to that is, what does that academic like? And I think that we are in a world now where everybody wants to know what we're doing, apart from writing papers, apart from teaching in the classroom. But most importantly is, what is your love? Out of all of that, what is your love? And how can you monetize your love through the little bit of education that you may have acquired, or the big education through a master's or a PhD that you have acquired? But how do you take what you love and attach it to the traditional education and make it a valuable asset into society? So that is how I would define personal branding from an academic point of view.
Excellent. So how did you begin to realize your identity outside of traditional academia?
Okay, first of all, as you may know, there are four legs to academia. There's community engagement, there's teaching, there's research, and there's leadership. I think early on, I identified, just like you, similar to you, I think we're very similar in the aspect that very early on, I realized that I'm a community-aligned person. I like to organize people. I like to be involved in, developing people essentially to becoming better, or to creating people or transforming them to become better, and to also see how they can transform their own societies. My second love is teaching. Okay. And I think of recent, I think leading has been also in the forefront, and I'll put research right at the end for various reasons. There's various reasons. I knew instantly that, yes, as much as I'm a researcher, but I don't think I am even in the top, let's say, 20% in the world, and I'm okay with that. And the reason why I'm okay with that is because I feel that, and as an educated person, just in general, as an educated person, we have an obligation to society, and that obligation is to give back, and that obligation is to educate the next person coming up, to tell them what is required of them to become educated, such as yourself. So I realized early on through my teaching that there was a need in the community that I grew up in college. That need was because of the lack of laboratories in the schools there, coupled to crime, coupled to all sorts of things that happen within what we consider township in South Africa. There are a few children there that want to come out as scientists. such as myself. So I asked myself that what can I do based on the education that I've acquired, um, that I can use in order to equip those children. And that is how Amakhamenge Mfundo, or Heroes of Education, was built upon. So I identified what I liked, and what I liked was ensuring that people are educated. But at a university level, at high level, you know, you get in there with an expectation of what a first year student should be able to know. But I quickly realized that people from similar backgrounds as myself were not moving up as fast as they should, because there was a gap, and the gap was what is learned in high school and what is learned in high education. Because of that lack of laboratories, they are then disadvantaged in the sense that they are unable to catch up to a student who has laboratories in their high school. So my first love is community engagement, I would say so. The fact that you are able to see the transition in someone's eyes, especially a child, when you tell them of all the opportunities that are available to them and how they can, with all the strength they have within their being, can change their lives to become better and to get out of the impoverished family, or to get out of the impoverished community in which they are born in and become a specialist in something, is something that I'm really passionate about. But as I say, I linked it to teaching. Without teaching, I wouldn't have realized that this is my love. But this was way before I knew that I could actually use community engagement as a personal brand for myself. So that is essentially the foundation of how I got to where I realized that community engagement is my first love in academia.
Beautiful, beautiful. So how are you going to harness this or make it very to make it generate a lot of income? How
Taking
have you?
off?
I said, how are you going to, like, going forward? How are you going to use the MPO, this personal brand that you've created for how to generate a lot of income for you?
Okay, so in my case, um, so I want to split it into two.
Okay.
The financial generation that is required to run the NPO. And that is obviously through certain applications that one can do through the government or through various corporations, across the country that would fund the NPO, and then the programs can continue. But on the personal branding side of things, most academics, when they enter the academic sphere, they are not aware that they have to excel in all of these four streams. As much as I don't like research, I have to excel at it at some point. And being deputy dean now, I've realized that all of them, if not 90% of all applicants, always fall short with community engagement. And what is required of them is how they can take especially the research niche area, and align it to what the community needs, and also align it to the decadal plan, which is something big in South Africa now, as well as the sustainable development goals. So in terms of myself making money for myself, is that my audience, or let's say my clients, are young academics coming in. These are young academics that are passionate about academia, but they don't know how to maneuver themselves into establishing themselves on all four of these legs: leadership, teaching, research, and community engagement. The requirement in the country now is, how is your research informing teaching? And how is your research informing community engagement? And that is how I'm able to monetize what I know and what I've learned, is to step by step educate a new incoming researcher or incoming staff member or young academic that this is how you go about doing it. As you start becoming an academic, don't wait for 5 years or 10 years to come to start, but this is how you can start establishing yourself from the onset. And that is how I'm able to generate an additional income to what I have, is through these personalized, let's say
Mentoring.
excuse me?
personalized mentorship.
Yes, exactly. And those stations are very valuable to them. So they will tell somebody else, and that person tells somebody else. And that is how it's been gradually growing since we met, 3 years ago. The client base is slowly growing because the word is going out. And some of them are actually interested in also establishing NPOs. And that is where I come in, that from an academic point of view, how do you establish an NPO? You know, how are you going to take what you've learned and instill that into an NPO based on the expertise that you've learned in your field of study, whatever the case may be? So that is how I'm able to monetize, let's say, my personal brand in that sense.
I love it. I'm so proud of you, Professor Fanelwa. I'm so proud. I'm so proud. So
Thanks, my
sometimes I'll
dog.
ask you a question. Do you feel guilty sometimes charging them?
Say again?
Do you feel guilty sometimes charging your clients?
I do. I do feel guilty. And sometimes I also, I feel sometimes, I would look at somebody and then I would judge, how they speak. And sometimes I would, sort of play around with my rate and reduce it out of guilt. I do, because I somehow feel that, perhaps this is something they can Google and find out. But then I think again, but no, they wouldn't get it the way I'm explaining it. They wouldn't be able to implement a strategy the way I'm telling them. And they can always come back to me at any time, and then we can redefine the strategy. And again, I always tell them that each niche area of study is different. So as much as you may Google, but you will not have the direct insight into, that part of the career that they need to establish. I do actually,
I love it.
but I need to be
You know
strong.
why?
I need to be
You know
strong.
why I asked that question? The reason I asked that
Yeah.
question is because as academic professionals, we're not trained to market ourselves. We're not trained to
Yes.
market. We have guilt. We feel a lot of guilt when we want to sell our brilliance
Yes.
or sell our expertise. We feel guilty. But
That is true.
people in business, they sell everything. They sell time, they sell their resources, they sell everything. And there's nothing to be guilty about. If you really want to make profit from your brilliance, you have to sell. You have to charge, and don't feel guilty about it. Your value is how like put it. It can't be charged. There's no value to your there's no money they can pay for your expertise, your experience, and what you have gone through. You're teaching that. So I that's why
Yes.
it's a huge problem. We find it difficult to charge. We feel guilty.
Yeah.
We don't
And
have to feel guilty.
it's also
Mm-mm.
it's also the sense that we are not taught as natural scientists to brag about what we are doing.
Exactly.
You can discover something wonderful, or you can patent something. You can have a very wonderful patent, or you can get a very big grant, but you will be shy to talk about it because of this concept that less is more. But no, but not less is more. No, less is less and more is more.
Exactly.
So if it's something exciting, it should be shared and celebrated. But I realized that we're not trained to do that. Essentially, we are trained to be extra humble. And that is why most natural scientists, they fail at interviews because of exactly that. They don't know how to sell themselves. They don't know how to sell what they've done, which is a huge problem that we're actually facing now, also in the country, coupled to the fact that there's also a high increase in unemployment. There's the factor that you need to remain humble, yes, but it's just this extreme humility that I think is killing a lot of natural scientists like ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this. I'm grateful. And that's the essence why we're having this live, to make people understand these things and come to the realization that you have your power. You have power over your brilliance. You have power over your wealth generating. The power is within you. You just have to break free from all this noises and all of the things that we've been that we need to be humble. No. Don't be humble. Be humble at all. We paid the price for the PhD. We paid the price for the expertise that you have. We paid blood, sweat. So from the time,
Huge prize.
yeah, we paid a lot of price for that. So now
You.
the question is, what key opportunities have come your way after you became more intentional with your brand?
What I've enjoyed the most has been the hosting of workshops. I think that has been really, really, really rewarding because it has taken me totally out of physical chemistry, totally out of electrochemistry, totally out of my research. Is the fact that I've been invited to host workshops. And secondly, is also being invited to be part of panels that I didn't think that I'll be part of. And of recent years, unfortunately, I haven't been able to travel as much due to health reasons. But before falling ill, it was the opportunity to travel, have my travels funded, accommodation funded, and to also have, some kind of stipend or a total remuneration for the trip for my speaking engagement. But what I decided to do, because of the challenges that I have physically now, is to also have these sessions online. And I've seen that they work as much, in fact, if not better, they also work. But I know some people want to see you face to face, but other people also prefer that, you know what, it's fine.
You can do
We
virtual.
could always, we can do it virtually. Is that your phone or my phone?
It's your fault.
How is this happening? I don't even see where it's ringing. Stop, I'm really sorry about that.
Oh, we just wait for it, guys.
Yeah, let's just wait for it again. Yeah, it's dead.
Yeah, yeah.
How does it come back? So the opportunities virtually have also been rewarding because the same thing can take place. I can charge you, you tell me how many people will log on, and then I can continue. I can also join a panel session online. I can host a virtual workshop. It takes a lot of time, obviously, because of technical problems sometimes. And it also takes a lot of time because of the questions, because you can't just drop people off online. But still, it gives me what I've always wanted. It still continues, the brand that I've always wanted as well. And I think the other important thing that I also find very rewarding is the fact that now that I have students who are working, who some are at other universities, some are in corporate, some organizations are also struggling to spend their money. They don't know how to align themselves with an NPO or align themselves with universities to spend their corporate social investment money. And that is where I come in to advise and consult and tell them, okay, you guys are this particular company, you sell milk. So if you sell milk, it means that your target market are students that study food technology, food micro, or analytical chemistry. So this is your money can be funneled into these courses. You can pay bursaries for these courses, and you can align yourselves with these institutions. So that has also been something that has been very, very rewarding. So it's like a total fifth leg to the traditional academic, if I would put it that way. There's the four legs, which the traditional academic must have, but I have this fascinating fifth leg, which I also completely enjoy. And who knows, perhaps in the next few years, I'll be telling you that, Dr. Motola, I am actually, you know,
Consult.
I'm consulting now. I'm leaving this sphere. So it's been really rewarding. And these are the opportunities I don't think I would have had
If you
the opportunity to be part of had I not
started.
emphasized on this opportunity of having a brand of my own.
I'm so happy. So happy. Because you know what you're telling me now, it was open my mind to I never knew that this opportunity would open up. And now you kind of a lot of opportunities that ordinarily, is not very, but you're seeing opportunities in little things, and it's so significant for you. And I'm so happy for you. And so,
Thank you.
all
Thank
right.
you.
So now I'm just going to talk about the strategies, the key strategies to build your unique brand. I'll talk about it. I will list 5 strategies to build one unique brand. Now, I'll ask you the final question. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So now our audience, please let us know where you're joining us from, and then please engage with us. If you have any questions, please ask in the comment section. So now I'm going to list 5 key strategies you need to build your unique brand. One is that you need to clarify, know your niche and your voice. What do you like? So they love community engagement. So you have to find what pillar of the academic pillars resonates better with you or resonates best with you, and build your personal brand based on that. So now you please know your niche and have your voice. Number 2 is that you have to create content. You have to publish beyond journals, blogs, speak online, just like she's telling how she's been able to harness. Number 3 is that you have to leverage social media, LinkedIn and Instagram. Show your work and offline and online. It's very, very important. Number 4 is that you need to show your story. Show your why, not just your story is very, very important. What makes you become who you are. So she has explained why her background in character has made her build a personal brand based on the fact that she wants to let people, she wants to ensure that her generation of coming properly. For me, my why came as a result of the fact that I knew I was very extremely broke. Like it. I saw a very brilliant, but did not have, reward. They were not rewarded accordingly. And it used to hurt my soul that why would we go to school for 14 years, 15 years, do all of this hard work, and then we're not rewarded very well. So we found out that the ball is actually in our court. We have to decide and design a career in such a way that we can now sell. And once I found how to sell my expertise and began learning from it, I decided to teach other people, other colleagues, and other professionals how to sell them and how to find their guy and find that thing that sell and make money out of it, So that is my why. Number 5 is package your value. Now, after knowing your why, training for all things, you have to package your value. Offer workshops, mentoring, and consulting, just like Fanelwa has shown us. This is what I also do in the Fanelwa has one of my clients, my friends, that have been able to go through that. So if you have problems with finding clarity, or you're confused on how to go about finding your value, finding your voice, leveraging your story, contact me. We can have a clarity session, and we can do. You can engage a mentorship group, and we can help you build a personal brand that is impeccable and that will give you visibility and, of course, grow your income. So now to the questions, Professor Ajayi. So what tools and platforms or habits help shape what mistake do you think academics make when they are trying to build their brand?
The very first thing is, as you start, obviously we are in the world of the fourth industrial revolution. As much as some people say that it's coming, I think it's here and it's yes. So the use of social media is important. And as you mentioned before, and I like what you said, some people don't want to be known what they're doing in their personal life. But you may want to be known what you're doing in your professional environment, and you may want to be known what you're doing in your personal branding journey, which I think you have done phenomenally, because I know you personally, so I know what's happening in your personal life. But what I enjoy about your social media feeds is that you are able to share your branding journey with us from beginning to end, wherever you are. And that's encouraging to most of us who have not yet attained that status already. I think the fear of social media amongst natural scientists is a big killer. Start small. Okay, I know almost everybody has a Facebook. Maybe you want to introduce yourself to the Facebook, but there are popular ones. Instagram is very popular. X is very popular. TikTok nowadays is also very popular because it's diverse. Everybody can go on, unlike before. So I think, first of all, social media is important. Secondly, I think those that want to embark on this journey is to also start small, by offering free sessions in the beginning, because through those free sessions, let's say a one-on-one, you're testing the theory that you want to embark on this personal branding. You are this community engagement expert, which is what I'm called now in my faculty. I was very proud of myself today when the dean called me that. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. So start, give 1 or 2 or 3 free sessions. Make yourself known. It is from there that you build, because the more people know you, the more then you can structure the charging that you're giving to people, how much you're charging per hour, per day, per week, and so forth. So that way you're practicing, you're starting small, and you're going to get to a point where you are completely confident and you're telling yourself that I don't speak without a fee, you know. And that, I think, is very important. But I want to emphasize on the fact that sometimes doing things for free is also good. Writing is also important. I sometimes write for a community newspaper that goes within the townships here, Tulanga. It's a free newspaper. I sometimes write there. I write it for free. I write experiments sometimes just encouraging notes there. And sometimes, because of that, other opportunities then come that, Fanelwa, can you comment on this? Or can we profile you, can we call you to speak about a certain topic on this television network, for example? So I think we should not box ourselves as natural scientists and tell ourselves, okay, my age index is now 20, I wanted to grow to 50. There are people that enjoy that. That is fine. But the world is changing. And South Africa, in particular, is also changing. I think that the whole world is changing. The major problem in South Africa at the moment is budget cuts. Almost all universities' budgets have been cut. So it will come a time where salaries will not increase, okay, for a couple of years. It's coming. We just have to wait. Research funding has been cut already. So what are you going to do for the gap, the money that will not be increased for that particular year? What are you going to do when you have expertise? Like you say, we've been in school 14, 15, 16 years. What are you going to do? What have you learned that will be able to generate an income for you? And again, if you are so passionate about research alongside your personal branding journey, you can even use that extra generated income to even harness your research by paying a student a bursary to do your experiments, or to give a bursary, or many things, biochemicals, whatever it is that is needed in the lab. So there are so many ways that one can really cultivate their career to make sure that they are well-rounded academics without really feeling the strain. Because the world is ending and we really need to be thinking outside the traditional way of doing things.
Thank you so much. That was amazing. That was very eye-opening. I guess the aid is really affecting Sarah.
It is.
Oh my.
It is.
Oh my.
It
Oh
is.
my. Oh my. Oh my.
It is.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Fanelwa, for all of that. It was really, really very relevant. Very relevant. Very, very relevant. And I think that validates my assignment. What I'm doing, what you said now makes me feel validated that
Yes.
I really need to go out there and preach this
Yes.
gospel. That you cannot be brilliant and just sit down there, be at
Yes.
you. You are in
Yes.
destiny. You have what it takes to make your life. anybody. Just look for a way. If you don't know how to, seek for help and
Exactly.
find a way to make money out of your giftings, your expertise, your credentials, your your expertise.
Yeah.
Thank you
Exactly.
so much. All right. So we'll be closing now. If we have any questions, anybody with questions, please use the time to poll to ask your question. And I'm going to ask the audience that what is holding you back from building your academic brand or your professional brand, or what's holding you back? Is it because you're scared? Like she mentioned, social media is killing a lot of academics. When I started, when I wanted to start, I was so scared. I was very scared. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
God, poke eyes into my personal life, poke their noses into my personal life, ask questions, and what's she doing, where's she going, those kind of things. I was a little bit scared. I was actually terrified. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to segregate my personal life from my professional assignment? So I had to pray. I had to really pray to God for God to help, to be able to overcome that fear, number one, then to be able to have wisdom to know how to exactly place myself in such a way that it wouldn't really matter what happens in my personal life. It will really have so much influence on my assignment and on my message. So I had to be very clear so that it would overshadow whatever chaos is happening in my personal life. And just
Yeah.
courage, I had to ask for courage, I had to ask for clarity, I had to ask for confidence. And I found out that it came as a result of doing, of executing. So the more I was doing, the more I was acting out, the more I was posting, the more confidence I felt, and I don't give a fuck anymore. So right now, I found that every little step that I do, I have validated my assignment God has placed in my heart. And I found that God takes care of the other things that bother me, that seemingly would bother me. Now everybody's like, Omotola, how did you do it? Even people that were not talking to me before are now talking to me now? A lot of people think that this girl is crazy, she's this, she's that, she's just
Yeah.
off, she just wanna, what's her problem? What she should just go back to her village and go. But now they're coming to me in my DMs and saying, Omotola, we're so proud of you. We're so proud of you. So this, we're so that. I'm like, but these are the same people that were castigating me back in the day. And this just makes me when you're on your right path, on your assignment that God has finally given you, He will make a way for you. He would sort out that seemingly would bother us. And
Yeah.
this I am convinced is my assignment. I want to say
Exactly. And surprisingly is that, once you find yourself in a speciality, like yourself now, you've become an expert in this. No one is even bothered about your personal life. No one is worried. Nobody wants to ask you about that, because everybody is interested about how did you,
how
how did you
yeah.
get,
People are asking me,
how
how
did
did
you
she
get
grow
it?
so much?
Nobody
How did
worries
she
about,
do it?
oh, business we know, or what happened to that story of 2018. No, no, no. Nobody's interested in that. Everyone is interested in what you've achieved now. How can it help me get to where I want to be? You see? So I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Because you've become an expert, you've nurtured your skill, you're sharing your skill as widely as you can. And now people are coming to you to find out how can we better our lives based on what you have
Being able to,
what developed. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you. I'm so happy. I didn't even know that this life go this way. So, oh my, it's so fulfilling for me, and this is why I feel so much fulfillment when people can grow beyond what they think they can. When people can take, just don't take cognizance of what is surrounding and really seek deep and find a way to grow and overcome all the limitations that might ordinarily want to put them down, because we cannot become shining stars if we allow situations, limitations, economy, life, whatever, to put us down. At the end of the day, God tells us that we are created in His image and we're created to shine, to show glory. So if we allow things to hold us down, even God will not be happy because He has invested in us to also bring other people to the light, be an inspiration, cause other people to move from their Egypt or whatever they are into their land. And I'm so happy that I'm a vessel, and I'll just keep on doing what He has.
Please do.
So I'm so
Please do.
okay. So
Please
now
do.
we're closing. So we have to have a recap. So the takeaways from this is that your brand is your voice, not your job title. Your job title can be taken away from you anytime. You can be just like you said, research funding is cut. Even in America, it's cut. In America, research
Yeah.
funding is crazy. They pay us. They pay us on contract basis. It's just crazy. But in America, the thing that is good is that you can work, you can do free jobs, you can always have other ways of making. Um, but the rest are scared. Departments are closing. Students' enrollment is reducing. It's crazy just because of a change in. So it's
Hmm.
crazy. Thank God that we have found our. I found my feet. So I have to like sell my expertise and gain money. Not really university, how to get money from corporate. I just know how to and just be fine, you know. And so everybody, please remember that brand is your voice. Your brand is your life. Your brand is you. It is not your job title. Your career is not your brand. Okay, your calling is like, who are you? What are you? Who are you called to help? Who are you take out from from the valley into the mountain to your brand? And you can't find it if you're scared or you're confused. Seek, come to me, come to my DM. I can help you. I can help you. Um, the second takeaway is that you have expertise that falls beyond academic needs, and this is what I preach to everyone all the time. That apart from academia, you have so much that is inside you that you might not see, but world outside needs them. So, for example, with me, I've always had this personal brand thing. I didn't know it was part at the time. I just know how to dress, how to put things together, and how to. And I found out that in the corporate world, it's called writers, communication skills, and personal appearance matters a lot. And I found it as a gift I could use even to get promoted. I use it to get things. If I want to get, I know what to wear, how to present, get those things. So, and that's the things I tell people and I sell to people and I'll teach people to do. So your expertise is beyond academia. People in the world what you have. We have closed within the ivory tower. Bring it out there. Don't take away that you're never too early or too start your unique brand. No matter you might be 70, you still have something you can bring
Yeah.
world out. So
Yeah.
you can end this with your thoughts. I have said, please end it with Fanelwa, and then we will close.
Yeah. Doc, first of all, I just want to thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share, to share what I've learned, and also to thank you for your expertise. Because I think our encounter professionally within this aspect of personal branding has really had a profound impact on my life. So I really want to thank you for that. Thirdly, I want to encourage you to continue doing what you're doing. I think it's a need in today's world. And I want to encourage whoever is listening today to just overcome the fear and just follow what the heart is telling you to do. We all have a passion. You know, we all have something that we deeply, deeply enjoy, something that we deeply, deeply like. But I think because of how we've been brought up and how we've been geared to be followers rather than leaders, we tend to negate that feeling and we tend to be fearful of what we truly feel inside. And I just want to encourage anyone listening today to just take that leap of faith and see what would happen. Just a trial, a 6 month trial on how life can change within the personal branding space, and to see what could happen. And also to encourage whoever's listening, whatever you don't know, somebody else knows it better.
Yeah.
So find out and let it go down. With humility, it's even, with humility, I know personally that you can learn a great deal by asking those in the know-how. So thank you so much for today. I really enjoyed myself, and I believe wholeheartedly that there's a lot to be learned from what we discussed today, and a lot of people will benefit from our interaction this evening. So thank you so much. Well, it's my evening and your day. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So follow me at Dr. Omotola on branding, monetizing your brilliance as an academic professional. I'm here for you, and just send me a DM. I have a mentorship experience. You can find more information and more details at www.drmotola.com/dome. DOME. Just go there for more highlights. And we have a free gift for everybody that is watching this video. I'm going to be putting this video on LinkedIn and also on YouTube. So if you're listening, if you go here, it's an ebook, a free ebook for academic professionals called Personal Branding Ebook for free. All you need to do is click on that link that will be somewhere here, and then click on it, and the book comes to your email. And everything you do for our personal journey will be on that email. And if you need more help, just contact me on info@Dr. I wish you all the very best. Thank you for joining us, and see you next time. Thank you, Fanelwa. See you next time.
Thank you, Dr. Omotola.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.